What temperature condition is indicated if wet snow is encountered at your flight altitude? Answer: the temperature above freezing at your altitude. What happens to residual ice that remains after the de-ice boots are inflated and shed ice? Answer: residual ice increases with a decrease in airspeed or temperature. A generally recommended practice for autopilot usage during cruise flight in icing conditions is to answer: periodically disengage the autopilot and fly the airplane. Tailplane icing can be detected by elevator control pulsing, oscillation, or vibration. You encounter icing while flying through stratiform clouds. Which is the best option? Answer: change altitude to one with above freezing temperatures or where temperatures are colder than negative 10 degrees Celsius. In which meteorological environment is aircraft structure icing most likely to have the highest rate of accumulation? Answer: freezing rain. The visual cue What visual cue would alert a pilot to the visual presence of large supercooled water droplets? Answer: formation of a glossy transparent ice. When large supercooled water droplets (SLD) are present in temperatures below plus 5 degrees centigrade outside air temperature, what type of icing would you expect to form? Answer: ice that is glossy, clear, and translucent. The proper use of de-icing boots should include: answer: activation of the system at the first indication of icing, and the continued of cycling of the boots after leaving icing conditions to ensure residual ice has been removed. The presence of ice pellets at the surface is evidence that: answer: the freezing rain at a higher altitude. There's freezing rain at a higher altitude. Where is airplane icing most difficult to identify? Answer: on the flat upper wing surface. When conditions favoring the formation of ice are present, pilots should check for ice accumulation prior to flight. The best way to do this is by: answer: using a flashlight and watching for a light reflection. What types of surfaces are most likely to see the first signs of ice accumulation? Answer: small, narrow areas. The best technique for using the de-icing boots is to use them immediately upon visual detection of any ice. If you experience icing during an approach, you should: answer: retract the flaps as necessary and disengage the autopilot. Should buffeting or vibrations be experienced after extending the flaps upon exiting or during icing conditions? The most likely reason is: answer: incipient tail plane stall. A pilot who experiences tailplane icing during an approach should: answer: disengage the autopilot and retract the flaps. What type of icing should be expected when you encounter supercooled water droplets that splash or splatter on impact at the temperatures below plus 5 centigrade OAT? Answer: ice that forms on the wing aft of the active part of the de-icing boots. The most susceptible surface of the aircraft for ice accumulation is the: answer: tailplane. During or after flight in icing conditions, vibrations or buffeting that follows but was not evident prior to the flap deployment is: an incipient tailplane stall as a result of negative tailplane angle after flap deployment. Which precipitation type normally indicates freezing rain or at a higher altitude? At a higher altitude. Answer: ice pellets. Tailplane stall is the result of ice accumulation that is most likely to occur during approach and landing. Ice tends to accumulate first on the parts Ice tends to accumulate first on parts of the plane that are, answer, small and narrow. What is an operational consideration if you fly into rain which freezes on impact? Answer: temperatures are above freezing at the same or higher altitude. To recover from a tailplane stall brought on by ice accumulation, the pilot should, answer, retract the flaps, increase power, but only to compensate the reduction in lift. Tailplane icing can be detected by an, answer, sudden uncommanded nose down pitch. On initial climb out, after takeoff, and with the autopilot engaged, you encounter icing conditions. In this situation, you can expect, answer, ice to accumulate on the underside of the wings due to the higher AOA. How can you be sure the wing is free of critical ice? Answer: conduct a tactile inspection as well as a visual inspection. If you detect ice accumulation in flight, especially if the aircraft is not equipped with a de-icing system, you should, answer, leave the area of precipitation or fly to an altitude where temperature is above freezing. After cycling the de-icing boots, residual ice will increase as airspeed or temperatures decrease. In an aircraft equipped with pneumatic de-icing system, the appropriate technique for removing ice is to, answer, operate the pneumatic de-icing system several times. And